What is up, my peoples? This is your guy, Cly, and welcome back to that thrifting series. Sadly, I couldn't get the other cat in on the video today, so you're stuck with the little dude. I don't think you'll mind, though. Now, today's topic is going to be one that I know a few of you have been waiting for. I know I've been wanting to do. I'm going to show you some of my favorite thrifted board games. And one other thrifted board game. In fact, let me go ahead and start with that. Oh, come here, cat. Oh, yeah. I've got a board game in my possession that I really want out of my possession. I came across it at a flea market a while back and saw that it was going for about 60 bucks. I honestly didn't think that was possible for this thing, but after a quick Google search, it turns out it's worth over 100. I didn't buy it that day, but I did decide that if I ever came across it again, I was going to add it to my sell pile. Not my collection, my sell pile. And so I really need to include it in today's video, otherwise you're not going to see it in another one. So I feel dirty showing this. I honestly don't even know if it's appropriate for my channel. I've got a copy of Getopoly. This is probably the most offensive, well, one of the most offensive board games I've ever seen. Let me see if I can get a better focus on it. That didn't change much. But yeah, I really want this out of my apartment, so the next chance I get to sell it, it goes bye-bye. I paid, what, $4? Yeah. I paid $4 for it. It's got everything. It's in great condition internally. It's just not my style, to say the least. Plus, it's a Monopoly-like, and I can gladly say this is the only one of those I have here. So, yeah. This is a thing that exists that people pay money for. And apparently Redneckopoly goes for a similar amount, so I need to keep my eyes open for that one too. And for the rest of these games, which I narrowed the list down by a lot so that I can get them in, I'm going to be doing some jump cuts. So, jump cut, and I'm back. This is one of my favorite games to thrift. It's also up there on my list of favorite games to play. It's a fun little dungeon delving game where you play different sorts of adventurers with a bit of a farce to it, and you try to get a leg up on each other using various sneaky, underhanded methods. Now, I actually thrift every copy of this I find as long as it's $5 or below. Mainly because I'm looking for the occasional copy with an expansion inside, which I have found, but also because they make great gifts for my budding gamer friends, and they're pretty much guaranteed to sell at auction. So, Munchkin, like I said, is one of my favorites to thrift. I've also thrifted the base, Super, Adventure Time, Legends, and one more. Base, Legends, Adventure Time, Super. Oh, that might have been it. I have several other versions I'm looking at that were not thrifted. Oh, Apocalypse. I kind of count that one because it was at a clearance event, but it wasn't the $5 and below. I just wanted it. Time to get the next game in frame. Now, this right here is probably the closest thing I have to a trivia game. Not a big fan of them, mainly because, they're one and done. This has a lot of different questions. It doesn't actually need to be spot on. You just need to be the closest to the answer. And there's a lot of different versions and questions you can download. I actually have this, the party edition, which kind of confusing because this is kind of a party game. And I have the family edition, which includes meeples. I like meeples. And yeah, I pay about $2 each. And the cat that I kicked out of the room has decided to force his way back in. Let's hope he doesn't zap himself on the light this time. Okay, try to zap himself on the light. I stopped him last time. let's see what happens to them by the time I switch these games. Now, this is a good game. I love playing it. I love thrifting it. I love reselling it because retails for 50, resells for about 25, and let's see, I'm trying to look at my trade shelf. I've got 3 copies thrifted and then this one. I've paid on average about $5, so not complaining. Also, this game and several others like it that I've seen at auction have proven to me that if I see a game that revolves around trains, I'm getting it because they tend to rank at least 6.0 on Board Game Geek and fetch a bit of a price. I've got, let's see, just looking at the shelf right now, I've got Eurorails, Empire Builder, and Union Pacific right over there. If you don't believe me, later videos will prove that I'm right, because I'm not actually going to show them here. Otherwise, I can't show you later, and I'll run out of things for videos. Well, at least for videos that I do during my downtime, because still waiting on the after-holiday closet clean-out. But I've seen very large lines of people at the thrift store, so it's coming. Time for the next game. Now, this next game I'm not going to show you immediately. It needs a little bit of a backstory because it's actually the reason I've been zooming through all of these other games, trying to keep the videos a little bit shorter, and this one requires a bit of a story. And while the story's going, the kitty's going to play with the camera, apparently. Cat stopped it. Now, well, 2.5, 3 years ago, my girlfriend and I were checking out a thrift store in an area we just moved to, and we used to just thrift for tech. We didn't think that board games were worth going after. And as you can tell by the wall behind me, we were wrong. Well, as we were walking through a store that really just looked rated, we found a box. And the name seemed a little familiar, so I'm like, you know what? Let's grab it. We get it to the register, check it out, get to the car, do a little Googling. We did good. Just before we even cracked open the box, we knew we did good. We paid about $3 for this game. It retails for over $100. And it's one we plan on keeping. Well, actually, one we may sell because we now have another copy of it, but not as good. The box itself was in condition, a lot of shelf wear. The edges had some tape, or have some tape. You'll see the tape shortly, actually. But it's what's inside that really threw us for a loop. Let me just move the kitty and show you. All right, kit. Scoop the kitty. There we go. Oh, yeah. Some of the more serious game collectors are now freaking out a little bit. That's right, we have HeroQuest. We paid, that's upside down, a little over $3. We haven't taken the sticker off just because we do not want to ruin the box more than it already has been. Seriously, Cat? Playing with rubber band while I do this? I see how it is. But that's not the best part. Let me just go ahead and open this. Oh, gotta be careful. The lid really wants to misbehave. And picking up the board, get that out of the way. Looking good so far, isn't it? Rolls and stuff. Character placards. Yeah, get that out of the way. I guess the Game Master screen, GM screen, I don't know what the proper term in this is yet. Now, I think you've noticed something. The game is almost completely unpunched. Like, the character placards, GM screen, and a single door, plus this seems to have fallen out since, have been removed. Fitting that a door has gone AWOL, isn't it? The figures are still on the freaking sprue. Yes, that's what this is called, a sprue. figure's still attached to the sprue. Nothing's been punched out of here. Dice are still factory sealed. How can somebody let this much shelfware build up and yet never have even looked at the game itself? Cards still rubber banded, which I should probably take them out of the rubber band and baggy them at some point because, yeah, rubber bands are losing their elasticity, and for collectors out there, rubber bands are a bad idea, actually. I have seen many an example of aged rubber bands dissolving and adhering themselves permanently to your cards, so yeah, if you've got old rubber banded items, please, for the sake of your collectibles, don't do it. Remove the rubber bands. Put some game tape around them. It's actually non-adhesive stuff that sticks to itself and is resealable. Some of that. A bag. I've got... These things are cheap. Like a buck or two, you can get over 100. It'll fit your cards. Use those instead. That is your PSA of the evening. Now, as amazing as this is just by its age, it's actually been surpassed in my collection on value of game. A cat bath time. So let me put this away. I'm going to do another wind up like I did for this one to show you what has only recently become our most valuable thrifted, well, period. Our most valuable board game, period. It helps that it was thrifted though. So I'll be right back. Alright, now it is time to show you what has, at least according to a few online sellers, and I do mean sellers, not just askers, what is our most valuable board game. I hope I can get this thing in frame on the first try. If I have to jump cut away, oh well, it's worth it. Oh, alright, come on. There we go. It's a big boy. The first edition of Descent. We actually do have a couple copies of the second edition thanks to Barnes & Noble Red Dot sales and an area where there are no gamers apparently because it survived all the way down to the 75% off. We were very happy. But we paid $5 for this thing. And though we haven't sat down to do an extensive count, let's just show you what it looks like inside. There we go. Oh, that was loud. All right. That was fun. It looks like this. These are not resealable baggies, my friends. These are never opened. I believe the dice actually ship this way. If not, oh no, something in here's been opened. These, I believe, I don't know if they're in order actually, but either way, they're very well sorted. And then of course, the really cool stuff. All of the monsters. All of the very nice stuff. The sculpts in this game are just amazing, and I gotta find the other part to this dragon. It's in there somewhere. Oh wow, actually, looking at it, oh, let go. The previous owner never even sat down to do the basics of assembling the dragons. Oh yeah, that really increases our odds of having a complete game here. Let me just take a look underneath this flap, because my girlfriend's the one who really went through all of this. I didn't. Okay, this one actually, all of these components have been popped, but ziplocked. So the previous owner looked through the rules, popped all this stuff out, and then said, this is too hard. I don't feel like actually taking the figures out of their bags. So, yeah. We paid $5 for this. I think we did well. So let me just... I'll put that away off camera. This is why you should never be afraid to thrift board games. Just don't thrift them in my territory. No, honestly, if you find something good, more power to you. Until next time, this is your guy Cly. Oh, actually, no. Before I sign off, I'll go ahead and tell you what next week's going to be about. Assuming I don't find anything, because I can't guarantee I won't. I've been finding a few odds and ends more often now than I was. So, assuming next week I don't find enough to have its own haul video, the next best of will be about something all of you've probably been wanting. Video games. That's right, the next best of is going to be video games. Until next time, this is your guy Cly, signing off.